Hi there, this is Harry and welcome back to my lessons where I try to help you to get a better understanding of the English language. It's a lesson about collocations, and in particular we're talking about collocations with the word come, C-O-M-E. Collocations with the word come. A lot of people get confused and they've asked me to give a little bit of a mention to this and how we can use it. Okay, so let's look at the first one, come to life. Okay, well, lots of things can come to life, okay? So, if it's been raining hard for a couple of days and before that it was a very dry period and the ground was hard and everything looks dead, suddenly with that rain, everything comes to life. The grass starts to look greener, yeah? The shoots of the plants you've planted look better. The buds on the flowers look fresher. So everything comes to life, you know? So you can, where you effectively breathe life into something. Or you could use it in a funny way when your one of your kids has been sick, or maybe one of the older kids has been out on the town with his friends and sleeps late the next day, and at about 2 o'clock say, look who's come to life, meaning look who's awake and finally has got up and is going to share the rest of the day with us. Yes, so to come to life, something is more active. Yeah, okay. Some animals in our animal kingdom only come to life at nighttime. Owls, for example. Yeah, yeah, those, the owls. So they come to life at nighttime and they go hunting at nighttime. And a lot of other animals instinctively come to life at nighttime. Or after the long winter, a lot of animals who have been hibernating, like the bears, they come to life when they hear the sounds of spring or the snow begins to thaw and melt, and they get that breath of fresh air and they come to life. Okay, to come in peace. Well, if you are interested, and you might have heard me if you've listened to some of my lessons in the past, that I'm a great fan of the old Western movies. I really love them. I love to watch them again. But if you looked at the old Western movies when they were trying to negotiate settlement with the Native American Indian tribes, they would often use the expression to come in peace. Okay, so they either wave a white flag or they have some other way of showing their intentions that they're not there to fight. They lay down their weapons and they say they come in peace. So to come in peace is to make peace, to discuss peaceful end to whatever fighting they had. It never used to last so long, but they would use the expression, we come in peace. Okay, so to come in peace means to greet the other party that you might have been fighting with in a way that will end hostilities. And we can use it, okay, it's not so serious as a war between two countries, but if somebody's having a disagreement with a colleague, you say, oh, look, don't worry, I come in peace. Yeah, so you're not here to have another row or have another argument. Let's have a beer, let's put aside our differences and let's work out how we can move forward. So you could use it certainly in that context, to come in peace. Come into play. Well, when something comes into play, it's now part of whatever the big plan will be. Okay, so if we look at an example of some sort of business relationship, okay, so you're talking to your boss or your colleagues about some marketing strategy. So you're about to launch a new product onto the market. Okay, so let's say it's a new soft drink, and you're talking about the strategy that you're going to use, what advertising you're going to do, and then somebody asks a question, well, what about the segment? Which market segment are we aiming at? Are we aiming at young people? Are we aiming at old people? And you say, well, that will come into play later. That will be a part of our plan later on. So when something comes into play, it's something that we will consider at a later stage, or it might come into play now. Okay, so, or it may never come into play, meaning it's not something we have to consider. Okay, so when we use the expression to come into play, it means something we have to consider, something that we will consider, maybe not now, but later, or in the negative, it will not come into play. Okay, so another example would be in the current problems with the pandemic. So when they're talking about vaccinations and they have to get vaccinations for all the people over a certain age, and somebody says, well, we've vaccinated the people between the ages of 50 and 90. So what do we do next? Well, we're going to have to vaccinate the people between 40 and 49. So all of those people in that age bracket will now come into play, meaning we have to work our way down through them, and we have to make sure that we have sufficient vaccines to cover everybody. And we need to put in those extra orders because we'll need to vaccinate the people then between 30 and 39 in 3 weeks' time. And if we have a shortage, then these problems will come into play, meaning we'll have to cancel some vaccinations. So coming into play is something that we have to consider, something that's going to be important, something that's going to affect whatever we happen to be doing to come into play. Come to mind. Well, when something comes to mind, it's something you think of, or nothing might come to mind, so you can't think of anything. So somebody says, oh, we're trying to plan the Christmas, and as always we have a problem wanting to know and trying to work out what are we going to buy the kids. We got them this last year, and the previous year we got them that, so what do you think this year? Well, at the moment nothing comes to mind. I can't think of anything, but leave it with me for a few days. I'll have a look in the room, see what they have, what's broken, what they're talking about. I might get a bit of an idea, and if something comes to mind, I'll let you know. To come to mind means a thought, something that you didn't think of before, but it comes to mind. If you watch detective series and detective programs, and if there's been a serious crime committed like a murder or a robbery, and they're looking, of course, as always, for witnesses to these events. So they talk to people involved in the bank or in the shop where the incident happened, or they do what they call a door-to-door inquiries, and they introduce themselves, and when they're leaving, they usually say, well, look, if anything comes to mind, if you think of something, here's my number, please give me a call. So if anything comes to mind, if you remember something, even the smallest detail that might be important, please let us know. So to come to mind. Come to light. Well, when something comes to light, it means it comes out in the open. Okay? So things that are in the dark that haven't been discovered, something secret or something somebody had forgotten about, somebody might discover, and then this then comes to light. Okay, so we can go back to our detective series. So the crime hasn't been solved, the criminal has not been arrested, and the case is looking a little bit dead, so they're trying to find out if they've got any more information. And then, out of the blue, 2 or 3 months after the crime has been committed, they get a phone call from somebody who had been away for a while, and when they returned, they were reading a newspaper, saw the reference to this particular case, and it reminded them of something, so they thought they'd better contact the police. So they called the police department, they go to speak to them and said, well, on this particular night, I remember, and I was driving out, heading to the airport, I saw somebody leaving this building, and they looked a little bit suspicious, blah, 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 blah. So they've got some information that might help the police. So this information is evidence. It might be small, but it's evidence that has come to light, meaning it has arisen after the event and after their inquiry. So to come to light is something that was hidden, something that may have been forgotten about, but it has come to light when somebody remembered it, okay? So when it comes to light, it's additional information that previously wasn't known, okay? So it could be even something simple in a school where the headmaster is trying to solve some problem, something's gone missing, somebody's been playing a prank on some of the teachers, whatever it might be, and at the weekly assembly, if they have an assembly in the hall, the headmaster stands up in front of the children and said, some information has come to light that would suggest that some of our students have been playing pranks on the teachers. Fortunately for us, CCTV has identified those who are responsible, and we will be talking to them later on. So information has come to light, some evidence, and then of course all the school children are a little bit worried that they are the guilty party, so to come to light. So come up trumps. not Donald Trump. Come up trumps means when you're successful, yeah? To come up trumps means something that you were hoping to happen has happened and it's going to be beneficial, okay? So it might be a lot of effort and work that you've put into some project, and all that work has paid off because you've come up trumps. Your boss has given you a promotion, okay? So you've come up trumps. Or some investment you made. Let's say you bought an old apartment or an old cottage, and over a period of months you renovated it, you redecorated it, and then you decided to put it on the market, and you've sold it for a really, really good price. So all the effort and work has paid off, and it's really come up trumps. So to come up trumps means you've been successful. The work, the effort you've done and put into it has paid off. Now, trumps is a word we often use when we're playing card games. A trump card is the best card. It trumps, it beats everything else. So it does derive from that, the game of cards. But when we use to come up trumps means something is paying us a dividend. Quite literally, we're going to get a benefit, a bonus, a payment, something that's going to help us. Okay, to come up trumps. To come clean. Okay, well, when we come clean, it means we tell somebody the truth. Okay, when we come clean, we want to get something off our chest, something that has been bothering us for a while, that makes us feel a little bit guilty. So we decide to come clean. So it might be so simple as you're the person who took the last piece of chocolate cake, and somebody wants to know who ate the cake. No, it wasn't me, and then after a day say, okay, look, it was me, I was feeling a little peckish, so I took the cake. But you blamed the kids. Oh, I know, but it was only a joke. Yeah, okay, so to come clean. Or it's a lot more serious when the police are examining a situation. They know they have a suspect, somebody that they feel is responsible, but they can't pin it on him. But they say, look, I think it would be in your best interests if you come clean. If you tell us that you did it and how you did it, well, then we'll put in a good word for you to the judge, and perhaps he will go easy and the punishment won't be as severe. But if you don't come clean and we later find out that you are responsible, well, then there's no deal. Okay, so better to come clean now than for us to find out later when you will be charged. Okay, so to come clean means to admit something you've done and move forward and then no longer feel guilty. So to come clean. To come of age. This has different meanings in different countries. But from the UK point of view, people come of age. They used to come of age at the age of 21, and it would be a big, big birthday celebration. And at the age of 21, you used to get presented with the key of the door, quite literally. So you were old enough to have a key to let yourself in and out of the house. So if you see birthday cards and celebrations of people who are 21, often there's a picture of a key, a house key somewhere on the card, or they present a cake in the shape of a key, whatever it might be, because this was the reference to them coming of age at the age of 21, and the parents gave them the key of the house. Now, today in the modern world, they might actually give them the key of the car, yeah, but normally it's the key of the house. So coming of age is when people are deemed or believed to be sufficiently mature, that they can be relied upon, that they are taking responsibility. So it could be 18, it could be 16, but traditionally it happened to be 21. But in the modern world, I think the age has come down a little bit. But coming of age means to be responsible, to take responsibility for your actions, to be relied upon, to be reliable, and to be a man or a woman, or to act in a mature way. So to come of age. And then the next one is to have come a long way. Well, quite literally, to have come a long way means a distance. You've traveled 200 kilometers to get here, so you've come a long way. But this has a slightly different meaning. When somebody has come a long way, it means that they have perhaps matured, yeah? They have improved in their workload. They have developed in their career. whatever it might mean is they've started off in a lower position and have come to a better position. Okay, so they started off at the bottom in the company and they've worked their way up, and after 15 years you're sitting down with the chairman. He says, oh, you've really come a long way. I remember when you walked into this company the first day, but look at you now. You're virtually running the business, so we're so happy to have you here. So you've really come a long way. Or perhaps this city, the development within the city has come a long way. You remember it 20 years ago, and then you moved away from the city, you went to live in another country, and when you came back finally to resettle or to put your roots down again in the city of your birth, you look around and say, wow, this city has really come a long way. Look at all the development, a really fancy metro system, a really good road network, beautiful buildings, no slums, whatever it might be. You can point to it and say, yes, this city or country has really come a long way. So people can come a long way in terms of their personal development. People can come a long way in terms of their educational development, in terms of their work experience. But cities and other things where we reside can come a long way in how they have been developed. Okay, and finally then we've got not to know whether you're coming or going, not to know whether you're coming or going. So if you don't know whether you're coming or going, what it literally means is you haven't a clue. Yeah, I have no idea. So I'm completely confused. I don't know whether I'm coming or going. So it could have been one of those days or weeks when you're just running around from here to there, as we say in English, from pillar to post. You're doing this here, you're doing that there, you've got to make that presentation, you've got to meet these people, you've got to go home and look after the kids, you've got to visit the doctor, whatever it happens to be. You're really up to your eyes in work, and you sit down on a Friday evening, you say, you know what? I don't know whether I'm coming or going. I've had so much to do. I don't know whether I'm there or here or what I'm doing tomorrow. What I really need is just to kick off my shoes, put my feet up, relax for a few hours, forget about all this work, because in reality, I don't know whether I'm coming or going. All right. And again, it's one of those fixed expressions. It's not whether I'm going or coming. It's whether I'm coming or going. Okay. So there's a nice list of expressions, some of them fixed, all to do with collocations about come. Okay. Let me go down through them one more time. Come to life. Come in peace. Come into play, come to mind, come to light, come up trumps, come clean, come of age, someone has come a long way, and then finally, not know whether you are coming or going. So as I said, collocations with the word come. Okay, well, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you get a chance to use some of those. If you want to contact me, well, do so on www.englishlessonviaskype.com. Always happy to hear from you, always willing, and hopefully listen to some ideas, some suggestions that you have. That's where this collocation of come came from. So you give it to me, I'll put my little spin on it, I'll present it to you, and hopefully it will help you to improve your English. And as I said, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and you can listen to the podcast. Okay, thanks for listening. Join me again soon.